There were so many couch co-op games that came out in 2022. If you're like us, you wanted to find as many games as you could to play with a friend. So here's 40 couch co-op games from 2022 that you might have missed. Have we played all of them? Hell no. I don't even own a lot of these games. So when you're looking at the footage, and if it doesn't reflect co-op, just use your imagination, okay? Because I'm working with what I got. But these are the ones we did play at least a little bit though. I played this with my 4-year-old daughter. We had some fun. You gotta push these eggs into the nests or whatever they are, and it was hard to do with a 4-year-old. The puzzles are harder than expected. We want to come back to this at some point. So this is a game that we did a full review of when it was in early access. We haven't gone back to it since the full release, but we really enjoyed it. It's a stealth 3D platformer that can be played co-op. Really lighthearted, fun, often humorous type of game. Give it a shot. We recommend it. So this is pretty much just a direct ripoff of Rampage. There's not really anything new that it does. You could play it with up to 4 players and you destroy buildings. I don't know what else to say about it. I played it a little bit with my daughter, just in 2 players, and I think it's solid. I want to go back and try it again sometime. So this is somewhat of like a Diablo-like. It's a dungeon crawler. You can play it with up to 4 players. I didn't quite understand menu system and how to navigate things. Very briefly played this. I want to go back and try it some more as well. This one I covered in a video about upcoming co-op beat 'em ups, and it finally came out, and I played it quite a bit, and I think it's a mid-range co-op beat 'em up. I love the art style. It kind of reminds me of like the gross out style of 90s Nickelodeon cartoons, and it's all about the pandemic. Your people that are taking it seriously, your enemies are people that are not taking it seriously, and you fight them. Take away from that what you will. I think it's funny. Hansel and Gretel. This is another one I tried with my daughter. We very briefly went through it. It's very bland, very simple. You just walk to the side. We didn't really get too much into it. I don't know if I'll go back to this one. So this one's in early access. We covered this in our 5 co-op horror games that you can play this Halloween, and it is definitely like inspired by Resident Evil and the Silent Hill games. It's very janky. It's a game that is incomplete, let's put it that way. When it comes to co-op survival horror games, there's not a lot of them. I actually had some fun with this, and I think if it gets polished up, it could be a lot more enjoyable. So if you ever played Yars Revenge on Atari 2600, you'll know what this is. It's basically just an add-on updated version of this with some co-op. It's a shooter that requires some strategy. You gotta wait for the opening and then you shoot through there. There's barriers, there's a lot of stuff, yada yada yada. It's a pretty low budget game. If you like arcade shooters, definitely give it a shot. So this is a remake of Pocky and Rocky with a lot of updated visuals, some new mechanics. The main thing that's disappointing about this is you cannot start the game in co-op. You have to beat the game and then go back and you can play it again in co-op. That's very disappointing. That's the main reason I didn't put it on our top 10 list, but there's a cheat code that you can put in so then you can play it in co-op, but it's only free mode, so it won't include the story of the game. That being said, Pocky and Rocky is just an all-time great co-op game. This is more of that really polished, solid game, very difficult. I do want to spend more time on that one. So this is another free game. Liz and I played this at the very beginning of the year. It's very simple, very short, lighthearted puzzle platforming kind of game. Kind of reminded me of Snipper Clips or something like that. It's kind of a love story. We enjoyed it, but wouldn't play it again. It's just not enough there. This is another beat 'em up that came out this year. I played this one with my daughter a little bit. He plays these pencils. It's kind of a unique style that it has, but when it comes to the substance of the combat and everything, I thought it was a little bit lacking. It's not one of my favorite beat 'em ups of the year. I would definitely choose Pulling Punches over this one. Or the beat 'em ups that I put in our top 10 list. Go watch that video to find out what those are. So disclaimer for this one, it's not technically a couch co-op game, although there's no online capabilities. There's only local wireless connection. So you are required to play in the same room, and the way we played it was on the couch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and include it as couch co-op, even though you need 2 Nintendo Switches for it. But the gist of the game is one person plays on the TV, the other player plays handheld, and you work together to do puzzles. It's a great art style. This is a very highly anticipated game for me of the year, but once we got into the game, well, it needs a lot more polish. The touchscreen mechanics, when you're supposed to trace around some areas, they just don't really work. It just seems like there's parts that are a little bit broken that needed some more work. I do want to jump back into this game. I'm hoping that it gets better the further you get into it. I still appreciate the effort and the idea of having this built around co-op in such a unique way. There's a lot of motion controls and touchscreen, and the way that you interact together and work on puzzles. It's truly a co-op experience. I just hope that maybe there'll be some patches to make it better. And now the ones we did not play. Some of these look cool. A lot of these I will never look at again. some other couch co-op games we missed this year? Let us know, and be sure to check out our top 10 couch co-op games of 2022 video. Thanks for watching.